yeah. Let's see. I'm a little nervous. Going live over here like this. I don't normally come live like this over here. Ain't no intro. Ain't no nothing. Hello, it's me. I don't even know if my chat is. Oh my. Okay. What's up, y'all? It's your favorite gossip doctor, that girl Henny, and today I'm gonna pour up a little bit on something that came out yesterday. So yesterday, hey guys, hey guys, hey guys, I see y'all coming in. I see y'all coming in. It probably took y'all a little minute to get a notification, huh? It took a little minute for the noti, but you got the noti, right? And we over here first thing early in the morning. We got to do things a little differently now, y'all. Y'all got to work with me. You got to work with me. All right, so let me just see how this is going. All right, is it the way I want it? Yes, it is. Okay, cool, cool, cool. As long as it wasn't vertical. All right, so boom. So yesterday, thank you for the gifts. Yes, gifted. All right, so listen, you guys. Yesterday, we briefly touched on the binding, right? We saw that there was the dolly wrapped up in twine with the graveyard dirt in the encapsulated casing, right? We saw that. We saw that. We saw that. So yesterday I jumped with, but I was seeing which was, oh, she did this to Jaydin. Now, number one, let me clear this up really quick for y'all. We don't know who that binding was done on. Okay, because it was not done specifically by Nevaeh. It was done by Nevaeh's friend. But what I can tell you is you can definitely see the witchcraft on her. Hold on, let me see. Because I found my stuffs. I found it. Okay, can you guys hear me? And do you hear me better? Let me know if you guys hear me better. Can you hear me? Hold on. Let me know if you guys hear me better. Can you hear me? Okay, I just heard myself. Okay, cool beans. The beans are cool. So we're not gonna start that. Okay, cool beans. The beans are cool. So we're not gonna start that. Cool beans. The beans okay. So at the end of the day, let me just explain to y'all if there is a going in and out, the only time that I need to know that it is going in and out is when it is going out real bad or when I am breaking up really bad. That has to be on your end because I'm not showing any buffering on my end. But I don't need to know every little thing that's going on with the live. If you don't know, then let me explain. I have Wi-Fi issues that are going on right now, so there's absolutely nothing that I can do or say that's going to fix that. So we just got to work with it. But just let me know when it's really, really bad or when it's interfering with what I'm saying, please. Okay, cool. So yesterday we were talking about that, and like people were jumping out the window and saying, "Oh, it was to Jade," and I jumped out the window because I'm part of people too. I said it because I saw it, and I was like, "Oh, that's the friend that said she was going to fight Jade, and she found her." Now I'm not saying that it's not possible, but people were asking me about how this works. So because I've been down this road spirituality and I understand certain things, I have knowledge of stuff. I wanted to come with the intention of giving you an informative video of possibilities. Now, understand that I say possibilities because I don't know. I'm not there. I'm not privy to the behind the scenes. I'm not privy to know exactly what it is that's being done. I'm not privy to know exactly what it is that's being worked. Okay, I'm not a part of that inner circle. Hey to everybody coming in. Hey y'all, hey y'all. So let's get into this. All right. So when you bind someone, you could bind them into a situation, you can bind them away from you, or you can bind them to you. Okay. So yesterday we were kind of like focused on the fact that, oh, she's binding Jaydin. She's binding Jaydin. There's a possibility that it may not even be a binding of Jaydin. It could be to bind Blue to her. Hold on. All right. Um, I was gonna try to get the video so that so that I could try to show you on the screen, but I really feel like that's kind of ghetto when I take the screen and show you another screen. So I'm not even gonna do that. Did it have pink shoes? No, it did not. What we saw yesterday did not have any shoes on at all. And you couldn't really tell if it was a female or if it was a male. You couldn't really tell the sex of the doll, because what we saw was we saw the feet of the doll and then we saw the head of the doll, but we saw that it was bound. Basically, let me just start off here. Basically, when it comes down to binding spells, it's like it's symbolic, and it could restrict someone's actions. You could use it to restrict someone's emotions. You can use it to restrict someone's choices or circumstances. And this is usually done like there's a whole ritual. So it's not even just a matter of you just take the doll, bind the doll up, put it in the graveyard dirt, and seal the case up. It's a whole process. And let me be very clear. The intention of this is not, thank you for the gifts, you guys. The intention of this is not to teach anyone anything. Okay? I'm not teaching no one anything. This video is for education and informational purposes only. What y'all do with that information after this video is on you, not me, because I'm not teaching you or telling you anything to go out here and do. But as people, you need to understand what you're looking at and what you're seeing, right? And this is all based off of my information. There may be another spiritualist out there that may not agree with what I'm saying. They may believe something else. I don't know. But I'm telling you based off of my experiences what it is. Okay. So let's be very clear on that. But yeah, you do a ritual, and in that ritual, you use intentions. Some people use objects when they do rituals. There's some people that don't even use anything when they do a ritual, but that's neither here nor there. Um, and some people actually do pray, but who they pray to, that's a different subject in itself as well as okay. But you can use this to like bind people in different ways. And you could also do this to bind someone psychologically. It doesn't have to just be like a physical thing. You could bind someone's psyche. You could bind them to a situation. So if you want someone to fall in, you can bind them to a them into insanity. Y'all get the gist of what I'm saying, okay? Um, but then you could also like bind someone to you for love, for them to stay with you forever. Thank you for the gifts, you guys. You said big up your beautiful self, sister, coming from AKA Hot Girl Trini, coming from Trinidad and Tobago. Big up, Henny. Hey, shout out to Trinidad and Tobago. You can use it as a way of bonding. Now, when you hear love spells, a lot of times people think about, the sweetening jar. If you know anything about a honey jar and things like that, you think of that type of stuff. But you can bind a person to you as well. So that's why I said, being that we don't know the sex of the doll that was used, um, we don't know if it was for Jaydin or if it was for Blueface. Remember, they had glued Blueberry shoes. I didn't know they glued them. I thought they just placed his shoes on top of the Bible. But that's neither here nor there. We talking about that coffin thing. That well, I call it a coffin, but the concealment of it all, things that open you up to where things that open you up to where it affects you is being super sexually active. You're allowing people energy into your field. What are you talking about, Mary? Can we get the like? Yeah, can we please get the likes up? Hey, everybody. All right, so boom. You saw the twine wrapped around it, right? Now, some people will take that twine and they'll put knots in it or whatever, but you could use twine, string. There's different ways to do this, but that particularly had twine. All right. Now, we didn't get to see the petition. The petition was probably bound up with the doll. So, what is a petition? A petition is where the person would write their intentions, basically giving instructions to the spirits that they work with on what they want to happen or the outcome that they're envisioning to happen. So, they would then either burn the petition into the ashes of the working, turn it into ashes and mixing it in with the workings. Because sometimes people use graveyard dirt. Sometimes people use black salt. Okay. Black salt is something completely different. It's not graveyard dirt. And honestly, that's what that looked like to me. That doesn't look like graveyard dirt. That looks like black salt, and it could have graveyard dirt mixed in it if they have ill intentions. I'm not going to get into what everything is, but I'm just trying to explain to y'all what binding means and what it can be used for. Okay, so like I said, you could bind someone to you, have them fall in love with you, or have them connected to you forever, have them, if your intention is, for example, let's go off of some of the things that we see happening right now. Not going to say this is what's happening at the immediate moment, but I'm going to say let's just go off of that as an example. All right. So let's say she wants him to forever continue to give her donut money. Okay. Talk to her nicely. Be sweet to her when he talks to her. Never leave her side. Right? Let's say that's what she wants. She's going to write that on the paper and then put it in there and wrap it up. And then she speaks that out. She prays to her Orishas or whatever it is that she does, right? Then she takes that doll, puts her black salt down, graveyard dirt if she used it, maybe some herbs might go in there, and then seals it shut. And that would then be buried or thrown into the ocean. And that's how it will forever be. Or it might be kept in a secret place so that it can continue to be worked over. Because that's the other thing. When people do stuff like that, they have to keep the work moving. So then there's that. To bind someone or like trap them, like you're trying to stop them or something like that, it's kind of the same thing. But usually when people do stuff like that, you're doing it because they're causing harmful behavior or you want to like stop somebody's influence. So if you trying to stop like somebody's influence on another person, shit, it could be Carlissa's ass that's bound up. We don't know. Okay. Um, and people will do this to like stop people from gossiping or manipulating situations, speaking against them, talking down on them, talking bad on them, threatening them, things like that. People will try to do that. Um, a freezer spell is different. The freezer spell, you freeze a person in place. Like you basically stop them from moving. So it could be used for anyone. Do y'all have any questions y'all want me to answer? If you do, you can ask them in the question, like ask them in the comments. I see them. Yeah, a freezer spell keeps them stuck in one spot. Binding them does the same thing. But with a freezer spell, it's a lot easier to undo because you just thaw it out. And that's another thing. That doll could have very well gone into the freezer as well. But you want a person stuck into a specific situation and you want that thing tied to them forever. So all I'm gonna say is her friend is really into this shit. You could see it on her. If you know, then you know what you see on her. Um, that's not to say that everybody who walks a spiritual path, who wears beads, is doing stuff like this to people. Technically, this is supposed to be like a defense. Like people use this in defensive magic, meaning that they're defending themselves against someone else. But a lot of times people get drunk. Let me tell you something about working with different things outside of yourself. When you step outside of God, you have no idea what you're dealing with. You could think you're praying to God, but unless you are really, really with the Most High God, you don't know what you're praying to. You don't know what the consequence is for the work that you do. Because here's the thing, when you dabble with them dark arts, those are what we call trickster spirits, which means that they will trick you. Those are the ones that come and tell you that they will give you the world, just like Satan did Jesus. I will give you the world if you will just. And that's people that do shit, that move out of evil, that move in darkness, and you cannot move in light without dark, and vice versa. Those spirits, it's a quid pro quo relationship. You have to do something in exchange. There's always in exchange. There's never anything just done. Like with God, all he requires is that you love him, you worship him, you put no other God before him, that you fast and you pray. With these spirits, there's no telling what they want. There's no telling what the comeback, get back gonna be for them. And just because you did one thing, that don't mean that they ain't gonna come back and require five things for the one thing that they granted you. People get power hungry. I've watched this. People will get power hungry because that power can be intoxicating. To know that you are manipulating free will, to know that you are manipulating, but you're not even really manipulating, you're working with spirits and principalities. And I'm speaking on this because a lot of people don't understand. They don't get the consequence of a thing. You sound good to me. I'm in as an illegal immigrant of the illegal immigrant community. Please help Trump. Go easy on us. You know what? I'm not even gonna keep reading that Savage Warrior. Don't do that. That's why I stay balanced. Plus, they always ask for money, power, and love. If you have to do something to bind somebody to you, to love you, if you have to do a love spell on somebody, If you have to manipulate anyone's free will in any way to be with you shouldn't be with them. If you have to manipulate somebody and bind somebody, like if you got to do all of these extra things to get people to leave you alone or whatever the case may be, like, I don't know. That's some weak ass shit. I'm gonna put that right there. Who do y'all think the spell was for? Was it Jaydin? Was it Carlissa? Was it Blue? Or was it for somebody that's not even in the circus? Because you don't even know. That's the other thing. You don't even know who that was for because the girl never said. Let me wait, hold on. Let me go double check myself before I say anything. Because and then I'm gonna tell you, looking at Nevaeh's okay, let's see. Okay, so not sure her biggest threat is I'm not even gonna speak that. Can a friend do or have Blue show the picture? I'm not on StreamYard. Blue Keisha. When was the pic posted? Ugh. Where the hell is the profile? Right here. I don't know because I don't see. I don't see it now, but she's showing a whole lot of her work. My first doll that gets active, she's very into what she's doing. She has a psalm down her she has a psalm down her arm tattooed. But yeah, hold on. Okay, I'm trying to see how I could do this without showing myself so I could show y'all her story. Hold on. Okay, so I could turn my camera on. Can I turn it up? Yep. Boom. Got it. Okay. So let's Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. Well, I'm just going to screenshot it. I'll post it. She has Psalms 23 tattooed on her arm. I'll post it. Hopefully, well, it's a picture, so. But yeah, this girl can definitely do on behalf of, because Nevaeh is pregnant. And as a pregnant woman, it is frowned upon for you to be doing any kind of work. You should not be doing any kind of work because of the fact that you have a baby in your belly. So, I hope that answered that one question. And those the chickens, it looks like chickens, maybe some rabbits. There's pots in the background. So this is feeding of the Orisha. Okay, this is crazy. Bukisha needs to get rid of her. Seriously. The question is blocking. All because they understand what won't coincide. The poll is in the way. I'll post the pictures. Can the friend do? I think I already answered that. Can the friend do? Her friend, all her friend needs, honestly, all you need, I don't even really want to tell y'all what it is that they, I mean, it's probably all up and down TikTok anyway, but all the friend needs is a photograph, a date of birth, and a personal artifact. Preferably either hair or some type of bodily fluid or a piece of dirty clothing. I don't want to get too deep because I'm not trying to teach nobody how to do nothing. But, and when I say bodily fluids, I'm talking saliva, urine, blood. You could use poop. You could use, dead skin, toenails, things of that nature, personal effects. Right. She could take his dirty underwear and use them. She could, and then there's specific parts of the clothing that are more, they consider it to be more powerful than the others. So like the armpit sweat on a shirt, the crotch part of an underwear, his toothbrush, um, if he just freshly cut his hair, the hair from off of the clippers, um, pubic hairs. Right. She just wiped his butt. That's not trying to tell y'all nothing. I'm just trying to you of what you're looking at. And like Carlissa and them taking it light, y'all need to be over there fasting and praying. Y'all need to be over there fasting and praying. And the fact that he left her in that house by herself, the fact that he left her in that house by herself, ain't no telling what done been laid down. And that girl was at his house. You don't know what's been worked over in your home. You don't know who these people are she got coming in and out your goddamn house, sir. They think it's a game because she done told him that she deals with science. Yeah, this is a method of science. Science. Going on here. There's people that do work that's going on over here. And I'm not causing no panic. I'm speaking facts. Whether people want to realize it or not, that ain't no shit to play with. That girl do not give me stable. She does not give me peace. She gives me that. She gives me spiritually mature. And her friend, she gives me, and this is just what she gives me. She gives me, she thrives in the darkness. That's what she gives me. She gives me that. And no, I am in no way telling nobody to fight fire with fire. I ain't saying she need to go see nobody doing no work, back and forth, throwing work back and forth at each other. And no. But this don't need to be swept under no damn carpet. And I think Carlissa knows that. And that's why she was trying to get her to come to Jesus, have a come to Jesus moment with her. I'm gonna tell you, if Jaydin started being nice to that girl, then we know. Comments. Let me scroll up a little bit. Is game on? Yep, it is. Kit Kat. And notice Carlissa doesn't mess with her at all. Could this be why she was so happy to wipe him? Possibly. I don't know. Don't say Henny said because we just conversating right now. This is all on Blue. He knows about her dealings and loves it. I knew she was weird. Oh my God, that's all I kept thinking about. She's putting stashes of her work hitting all over that mansion. I don't know if she's doing that, but it's a possibility she's got access. And Papa Blue don't be there like that. They went all through that house. Papa Blue was not there. I don't think Papa Blue has been there. Because if he was, all of that would not have been going on at that house. Maybe so into witchcraft. I've yet to see the benefits if she bouncing from couch to couch, shelter to shelter. I don't know if she's bouncing from shelter to shelter. You remember in the vid friend told Jaydin she got something for her. She was going to deal with her. Yeah, that's why he doesn't care if she's a 304. And hope Krishan didn't give him back them red shorts. Definitely doing some sort of spell work. Appointments and all. Shaking my head. She on her knees and pray. Nevaeh tried talking about God and worshiping some three different. Oh, wait a minute. Where my mic at? over here. Y'all can't hear me because I didn't have the mic close to me. Sorry. Lucifer has three different women working roots on him. And to just take lightly facts. That's why, if you remember in the beginning, when we were talking about how Blue was being so loving, remember in the beginning, Blue was very loving towards her. And then all of a sudden, it was like he did a switch up on her. Now, of course, that is how he usually do with the gaslighting and all of that stuff. But he was really being diabolical towards her, right? Like being his regular Lucifer self that we know him to be. But he was really under some type of influence. And it's like we all started talking about. I feel this is so what? She was already praying for him. If you think Krishan has stopped praying for Blue, then I don't know who you watching. Because of course she prays for Blue. That's her baby daddy. She prays for that man. Called Krishan, they have manifested into their life with Nevaeh. Blueface just gave her all his information, personal information. What was the first picture? Silent finger on the baby doll. That's from American Horror Story. But I also feel like that's like, working with the dolls. Shh. All the times he have been around. Hold on. All the times he have been around Stewie, he had ample time. Well, I don't know if she moved them pillows or got rid of them altogether, but they was there when Krishan was there on that tour bus. Those pillows were there. They just weren't sitting up, standing up the way that they normally are. They were laying down on the couch, and her son was laying all over the pillows. Yeah, and then all of a sudden, those pillows they're gone now. Denied the baby. Like, what the fuck? Technically, that's not what he said. What he said is, I've never denied you. And she said, you've never denied him. But he said, I never denied you. My life started all over. Oh no. Sure did. I remember when he was doing her hair. Yep. When have we known for Lucifer to give a female his personal information? He had a stroke when Krishan drove his car. He reported it stolen, but she's driving his car now and all. We've never seen her driving his car at all. And technically, our girl stole his car. He was sleeping. He didn't know she take it, and she took it. Krishan is the very reason why Blue is not suffering to the to that Miami trip when Nevaeh went to the reader and gave her and Blue's information. The reader wouldn't have done the work for her because she didn't. She wasn't fooling with that reader too tough. So she wouldn't have had that reader do no work for her. The cat's name is Lucifina. Blue is going to pay her for everything. How he treated Krishan and for little Krishan. So they can put whatever spell they want on him. His karma is coming down. Blue is owning a child like no other man. Like no other man didn't come out and say the baby is theirs. I saw something with Blue yesterday where he was talking to her. Oh no, no, no. I guess that was Rila he was talking to where he was like, she was trying to have a baby for attention or something. Blue gonna come home and the house is gonna smell like cat pee. It uses the bathtub as a cat litter box. What? I know you lying. I know you're lying, Jessica Palmer. The cat is using the bathtub as a litter box. How you know that? You seen it? You seen it? You seen it? Send me the clip. She got all his cars. She probably over there making copies of the keys, doing stuff with his social security numbers. Account number. Do you know they use cats to carry spells? They use cats for a lot of things. Cats can carry spells. They could be monitoring spirits. Um, I don't want to get into too much about what you can do with a cat, but guess what? You could do the same thing with a dog. You could do the same thing with any animal if you're that advanced and that deep into that type of craft. That's what old boy said that the cat did at his house. That the cat was using his bathtub as a litter box. Turn into people. Okay, you're talking about turning into people. Those are shapeshifters, and shapeshifters can turn into anything, allegedly. Talking about she's feeding Blue Dog something special. I don't know. That's disgusting. You have a cat using the toilet in the tub. Uh-uh. Mm-mm. I don't even like bathing the animals in the tub. Do you understand me? When I lived in New York and I had the apartment and I had to give my dog a bath and we had to bathe him in the tub, do you know how the comet, I would splash bleach in the tub, take the comet and sprinkle the comet with the bleach and then scrub the comet and the bleach around the tub and let it sit, then clean the tub out and then go back over that month with some more bleach and then go back over that month with some more comet? Because I've got to sit in that tub. That's why I'm grateful there's a back patio and a backyard now that the dog could be washed in the backyard or on the patio. She put Batman on a special diet, apparently. Hmm. Well, if Blue don't like what she doing, but to have an animal go to the bathroom in the tub is disgusting. You're nasty. Plus the cat's not fixed, so she's definitely spraying her pheromones all over the house. Is the cat a boy or a girl? because girl cats don't spray. They have cycles. They have cycles and they need pampers. If it's a boy, then yeah, it could be spraying. Blue changed from when he went in prison until now. He changed big time, Shamrock. He's been changed. People don't let Carlissa fool you guys. She is into it also. Get a cheap pool to bathe the dogs. Well, I couldn't do that when I had the apartment. I lived in a high rise apartment and then I moved to the apartment that I was in before I left New York. But we got a backyard and a patio. Get the water hose, wet them down, scrub them up, rinse them off, repeat, rinse them off, get a towel, dry them off. They good to go. On a hot day, lay that towel down and let me go rub himself dry and lay down in the sun. Right. I get so grossed out when my son does it, not in my tub, but in the one that everyone else uses. I always say, take that outside. Excuse me. Yeah, female pets need pampers. They need diapers. There's diapers that you put on them for a cycle. So if it's a female cat, it's running around there bleeding. Not like a human, but still, it's just the point. Who said what? I'm lost, Sylvia. Hey, be more. It's a female. Well, then the female has a cycle, and that means that that female cat is leaving spots around. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I just listen. At the end of the day, the crazy part about all of this is this aspect of things that's going on. Now, I'm gonna say this very clearly. Not all spiritual girlies dibble and dabble in that crap. Okay, not everybody dibbles and dabbles in it. Not they gonna have scabies. Don't forget Nevaeh was with Blue for 5 years. She is scared of Krishan because Sean is covered. She's threatened by her for sure. She definitely female cats unfixed spray when under stress during sex. I've had female cats. I've never had them spray. Like not like no male cats. I've never smelt them spray or any of that. I'm not saying they don't. I'm just saying I haven't. I've had 3 female cats. Male cats definitely spray, especially when they're trying to express dominance in a territory, a new territory. So I don't know. They still smell though, even after baths. I hate the dog smell. They're cute, but don't jump on me. Gifted from God, but I don't dabble in that at all. It's not easy, but I stay focused on God. Um, Thank you for the gifts, you guys. I appreciate it. I see the gifts you guys are giving. They spray their scent. They spray their scent around. So you could smell, their scents. That's why you have to get these pets fixed. Come on, Mike. Um, can you open the window? Well, I don't know. I don't know, y'all. Yes, it's like pee. Hey, She has that pet cemetery cat. Leave the Sphinx alone. The Sphinx is not that bad, guys. It's not that bad. But I don't know. I gotta go looking around and see what I can see out here in these Instagram streets and try to figure it out. How has this live been? No, it doesn't smell just like pee. It doesn't. It stinks. Spray stinks. It has a distinctive smell to it. And each pet has their own scent. Hmm. Okay, I don't know what that is. Okay, I gotta hold a meeting today because this is really like what? So the girl, Nevaeh's friend, she says, for the record, I believe in Yahweh. She left a comment on Blue Clip underneath a video of the encasing, and she says she believes in Yahweh. Now let me say this. You could believe in Yahweh, but that doesn't mean that you're not doing other things because clearly you are. What the heck is she trying to say? She probably be watching people's lives sometimes. Of course. Sphinx cats are good for people with cat allergies. They are, but you know, good morning everyone. God bless you. 9:46 a.m. here in sunny social. You on the West Coast. She's definitely dibbling dabbling in something. I mean, come on. Come on. Listen, if you truly believe in the power of God, then you know that you don't have to lift a finger. If you are truly a believer in God, then you know that Psalms, oh, they got power. There's power in the Psalms. Okay. You also know, you also know that you could go in that Bible and get a mean scripture and put you together a mean prayer and you ain't got to do nothing else. There's different type of spiritual girlies in this world. Not everybody is going to believe in the same things, and I'm not demonizing anybody who believes in any religion because I don't have a heaven or hell to put anybody in. Okay? So that's not my job, that's not my place, that's not what I'm going to do. What you do for you is what you do, and what I do for me is what I do. All I do know is if I get an inclination, if I get a glimpse that somebody doing something, any type of work, I'm getting to fasting and praying. Do you hear me? I'm going down. I don't I understand very well. You cannot tell me about something that I know about, even though I may not know about you. And I just know, and I think that a lot of people go down different paths to bring them right back to the starting point where they should be. Now, I believe in, I don't need nothing else outside of the Most High. Okay? I believe in memorial of my ancestors, paying homage to those who came before me because they're part of my bloodline. Now I'm bringing y'all a little bit into what I am right now. When I say I'm a spiritual girly, when I say I'm a spiritual girly, that means I read my Bible. That means I pray. That means I fast. I got to get a little bit better, more disciplined to go longer with my fast because I've fallen off the fast. Because fasting takes a discipline. You got to build up. You could jump out the window if you want to, but you got to build yourself up. Okay. I believe in sitting outside in the sun and talking to the Most High God. That comes, my path has been different from the beginning. Let me say this. Nobody gets me misconstrued. My path has been different from the beginning. My path, when I grew up, my mama Baptist, my dad Islam, the Nation of Islam. He's Muslim. He studies Islam. My godparents Jehovah's Witnesses, and I went to a Catholic school. That's four different religions that I was around growing up. So from a very early age, I understood one thing and one thing only, that no matter which denomination of religion that they went to, and no matter what they may have called the Most High God, Jehovah, Allah, Lord God Almighty, Yahweh, whatever you call the Most High God, guess what? You are one. There is, I learned at an early age that people believe and practice differently within their religions. And then when I got older, I came into this thing, I saw the five percenters. Then I came into this thing called spirituality. And I stumbled into spirituality on my woke journey. I was on a journey to understand me. I wanted to have knowledge of self. I wanted to know the history that wasn't being taught to me in school. So I went on a journey for knowledge of self and came upon spirituality when I got into the whole Africa Egypt thing. And I came into Hotep, Egyptology. And from there, I went down the path of different things. But as a youngin, I always knew that there was other gods out there. The Bible even tells us that there's other gods out there. Y'all want me to take y'all to church this morning. Oh, I like that one. Thank you. Flow state. I've never seen that. That's different. Thank you for the gift. Y'all want me to take you down this road today? Drop your Henny glasses in the chat if y'all want me to keep going and give y'all this good old story time. Not going on ahead and I'll give it to you. What's up, Migo Pigo? You want this? I don't want this. Can y'all hear me? All right, let me take this out of here. You can have this. Uh-oh. Did my comments stop? Can y'all hear me? I don't know what's going on. Hold on. Oh, I think my comments froze. Okay. I think my comments froze because all of a sudden they just came flooding in on my side. Okay. 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 Hold on. Let me switch microphones on you. Hold on. Okay. Y'all want the story time? I'm going to give y'all this story time. I'm going to make sure I go into a good Wi Fi spot really quickly while I give y'all this story time. Okay. And I got to figure out my figure out because we going YouTube live on the other channel too. Queen, she definitely is not. What happened? She can say that, but I need proof. Somebody show me the proof of her being a daughter of Oshun. She don't have none of those characteristics and those traits. Okay. Nothing about her says Oshun. Everything about her says uh Eshu, Elegwa, Papa Legba. Milo, I'm gonna kick your ass just so you know. I'm sick of him. Oh, being bad. He being bad, y'all. Hold on, I'm coming. I'm coming, y'all. Oh, I can't find my vape. All right, so where was we? All right, so we were talking about my spiritual journey, and I already shared with y'all about me growing up. A little bit more in depth on the story time. I'm gonna give y'all the story time list. But my mom and them Baptist. My daddy Islam, and my godparents were Jehovah's Witnesses. Is that a lizard in the tree? It is. That is what I gathered from them. We already know in Islam, they pray multiple times a day. They go through Ramadan, where the whole religion as a whole fasts at the same time. Discipline. They were more Holy Spirit driven. The Catholics, they always felt like, and this is just my opinion, being going back into my childhood memories and remembering this, they always seemed to be in a state of mourning. They weren't, there was to, unlike the Baptists, unlike the Nation of Islam, studying Islam. But they had multiple different people that they prayed to, prayers dedicated to that particular saint. They did the rosary. They believed in discipline. They paddled kids in that school. Okay, I'm breaking up. Am I still breaking up? Hold on. I'm clear now. Okay. All right. So I had to move myself. All right. So what I said was, what I was learning as a child was there was basically different practices that everybody, while they all prayed to one God under different names, it was all one God. And what I was saying about the Catholic religion was that they prayed to different saints: Saint Peter, Saint Paul, Saint this, Saint that, Virgin Mary, Mother of God. They prayed, they did the rosary. And this is my observation as a child into religion. This is my introduction. And I'm kind of, I don't know why I'm sharing this with y'all, but I may have to up a membership on this channel too, so that y'all could may have to up a membership and make this private, because people don't need to be in my business like this. But anyway, I learned at an early age that there's different people that do different things. Okay. So I learned acceptance, but I learned that there is only one true God. Then as I got older and I was no longer in Catholic school, my mom was not going to church, my dad was not around, this knowledge of self. And I went on that journey. And I had 5 percenters, that were around me. And, you know, this new thing, I was the earth. And I was really like righteous as a woman. But I didn't stick with the 5 percenters too tough. So don't ask me what today's mathematics is, because I can't give you today's mathematics because I didn't do the studies, which led me onto a journey about who our people were, which led me into Africa, which led me into Egypt, which led me into Hotep or Egyptology. And so as I'm studying Egyptology, that's when I came into a different set of gods. Now, what I was saying to y'all before I started the story time over is, one thing about everything is I've always believed or known or knew that there were other gods. And even in the Bible, it acknowledges that there are other gods. That's why God says, "You shall have no other God before me but me." Santeria is not the African version. That is the Hispanic version of Ifa. And Ifa is the African religion. And all of it is hidden behind Santeria. Even Ifa is hidden behind Santeria. She said, "My whole tap journey was something else, LOL. Couldn't tell me that." Girl, when I start, okay, wait, let me keep going. Let me keep going so I can get there and tell you the excitement I felt. Because I'm gonna keep it all the way 100 with y'all today. So y'all can understand where I am spiritually, who I believe in, what I believe in, and why. Okay? So therefore there will be no questions and no doubts about Henny. So even as a kid, well, let me back it up. When I left out of Catholic school and I went to public school, and the reason I left Catholic school is because they was racist. Okay. Um, my teacher held back the only three children that were of any type of color in her class. It was myself, another young black. Oh, my bad. I hit the mute button. 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 Okay, so what I said was when I got, okay, so when it came to Catholic school, right? I left Catholic school and went to public school. And the reason why I left Catholic school is because of racism. There was one Hispanic boy in my class and another black boy in my class. And then there was myself. And we were the only three sprinkles of color in that class. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Oh, no. Yes? Okay. Okay, I going back off camera. So, so y'all heard that part. So when I went to public school, I lived. What is she talking about now? Who? What is who talking about? Okay, so it's some static. Y'all hear static? Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm over here and I'm learning Greek mythology, okay? Because I live where I went to school at, I did not go to school in the hood with everybody else. Now I lived in the projects with my grandmother. My mother lived in a suburban area. She's always been a suburbanite. My mama never was younger. But anyway, that's another story for another day. So I went to school in the suburbs. Okay. I went to school with the white children, people that had a little shmoney. You know what I'm saying? I was in a better school district. So when I went to that school, I think I was in like fourth, fifth grade, somewhere around there. I was able to take up Latin. Okay. And while I'm taking up Latin, I don't know why, but they started teaching us Greek mythology. Now, I knew for a fact that there was other gods because God says in his word, you shall have no other God before me but me. Like there's only one God, which I have an understanding of that. But here's these other gods coming before me. So I'm learning about Zeus and Athena and all of these different, you know, Greek gods. So that opened me up to something else. Now, fast forward, yes, this was in New York. Now, fast forward to me getting on to myself, my knowledge of self. Okay. Now, in fifth grade, I had a teacher named Miss Paragon. Miss Paragon was an African American woman. She wore a short afro. And guess what? That teacher was harder on all of her black students than she was anybody else. And you know why? She said, because we need to be better. We need to make sure that we got it, that our T's are crossed and our I's are dotted, and that when we step out into this world, that we show ourselves. She did not play with us. She opened my eyes to Black history. She did not believe in it just being a month. We learned about Black history in her class. So after leaving her class, that stayed with me. I love Miss Paragon. Now we talking fifth grade. Am 47 years old. And I remember my fifth grade teacher because she made that much of an impact. She didn't believe in being studied. She didn't believe in taking shortcuts. She didn't believe in none. She pushed us. And I'm grateful for that. So that left me, after I left her, that left me with this hunger to understand who I was. Now, around this time, we start getting Roots and all of that, I believe, is when it first came on the TV. I think I was in like fifth grade, maybe sixth, seventh grade. Roots came out on the TV, I believe. Well, I just know it was around that time that I saw it. So I'm still having this hunger to know who I am, where I came from, my ancestry, to learn about me. So as I got older, I started going down this path of knowledge of self. Now, like I said, you can't ask me what today's mathematics is because I never stood and did the full 5%er walk, but I did attempt to go down that road. I hung around a lot of 5%ers, okay, at one point in time because 5%ers were big in New York. So I stepped away from that and started getting into the Hotep. Now, Hotep is basically African religion, but you learning about sacred geometry and all of that as well. Like that's where this led me to. Because somehow or another, I was still going to church, but I was still on this quest for knowledge of self. Now, I want y'all to pay attention to this part right here because this is where my journey shifts. I'm in the Baptist church. And I did not like the way I was church hurt by the Baptist church. And I left and went to a new church. That denomination was Pentecostal. This Pentecostal church was different than any other church that I had ever been to. Okay. And I've been to churches in the South. So it gave me a little bit of a South vibe, but it also had something else to it. It had something else to it because they believed in what's called invoking the Holy Spirit. Church would last as long as church was supposed to last because we would not move until the Holy Spirit was ushered into the building. You said you was Muslim for 2 weeks in high school after the movie X. I'm done. Church is the root. So I grew up Pentecostal and they are fanatics. I can't be bothered. I don't find them to be fanatics. I believe that this particular Pentecostal church may have been run by a hoodoo practitioner. And I'm going to tell y'all all about hoodoo as well. So either y'all going to stay or y'all going to get butt hurt and y'all going to go. But I'm going to learn you something today. All right. So I went to the Pentecostal church. I liked them. I felt like I was elevating and growing there because liked the way I felt going to that church. The reason I liked the way I felt when I went to that church is because the pastor and the first lady knew everybody. They took the time to get to know everybody. They also taught me about leaving in order and decorum from my other church. See, most people get up and they just leave the church and go to another church. They told me to go to my pastor, air my grievance with him, and ask to be released from his congregation before I could come into theirs. So that that was different. And then they took the time to sit down and get to know me. Now, my turning point in things, I went on a women's retreat to the mountain. I wanted to go so bad. Let me back up. I wanted to go on this women's retreat. They was advertising it. I was in a bind. I was the only one working in my house. I was in my DV situation at that time. He was not, no matter of fact, he was working, but he was not willing to give me no money to go on that trip at all. Okay. But I didn't have the money to go. And I wanted to go. I wanted to go badly. And I prayed about it. And I fasted on it. And on the day, one of the sisters in the church who took me under her wing called me and said, pack your bag, you're going to the retreat for you to go. Out of nowhere. So here I go off on nothing. My water, please. No TV, no nothing. And I'm up there with these powerful women of God. Something shifted in me on that mountain. It was something about being away from society, being alone with nothing but being in the presence of the Most High God that shifted in me. But I'm still on this journey for my knowledge of self. Remember that part. Now, there came a part in my studies where I came across the tree of life. Is there ice still in it? Can I get some ice? I'm sorry. Shit. Um, I was told to not. Warrior. You pick and choose your beliefs based on your emotions. That's the. Oh, really? Okay. As I was saying, as I was saying, so I got to this tree of life and I started really delving into what this was all about and found out about sacred geometry. Are you listening or are you just chatting, Savage Warrior? Because I got some words for you when I'm done. Leave them alone. Let them stay here. Let them stay here because they're judgmental and they trying to tell me about about in my 20s going into my 30s at this particular point in time. See, they don't understand timeline structure. No, we're not closing the bar. Let them stay here with their judgmental self because I like people like them. So anyway, so I go down this little path and this little journey and all of that. And I'm still in the church. I'm still in the church. But I always had this feeling like something was missing. Something was missing. So I made the decision that I wanted to be closer to God. And I prayed. And I said, Lord, I want to be closer to you. I don't want other people's thoughts. I don't want other people's interpretations of you to influence me. And I want to be closer to you. Jesus was in the wilderness with the people. He wasn't in a building. He fellowshiped with the people in the wilderness. I don't want to find in a building with people who are judgmental. I don't want to be confined in a building where I feel restricted to you. Now, this is my journey, not nobody else's. So I stepped away from the church and I'm fasting and I'm praying. I'm reading my word. I'm studying my word because I'm not just reading to read it. I'm studying my word. And so I get on my knees and I don't give a damn who judges me because you don't know me. I get on my knees one day and I'm having a conversation with God. And I said, Lord, in church and all growing up, I keep hearing about this enemy. I keep hearing about the enemy. But who is the enemy? And who are these spirits that we wrestle with? Because if we wrestle not with flesh, but with spirits and principalities, who are these spirits that we wrestle with? I want to know the enemy. I want to know these demons. I want to know who they are. I want to know so I know who my enemy is. And that opened me up to a whole other world. That's how I started walking down that road and that path to knowing what I'm looking at when it comes down to the context of this circus. I have crossed paths with Luciferians who do not believe that they are worshiping the devil. They believe that they are followers of the light bringer. And I was able to see the taintedness in that. But I was able to sit with them and to see and gain the knowledge of what they do and what they work of these spirits, but ain't Satan that's attacking, calling out the wrong spirit. So before you to judging me, make sure you listening very closely to what I'm telling you and understand what I had to understand, which is why I've gone under some major attacks and I know what I'm talking about. So I learned the name, learned what they do. I learned how they operate. I learned how those demonic spirits corrupt, how to put them on a leash because they do something called put your demons on a leash. From there, I went into the study of Santa and I got to understand that they hide their Orisha behind the saints of Catholicism.
And then I started studying Ifa and realizing that they were all derivatives. Santeria, Palomayambe, Lukami. Those are all derivatives of Ifa because Ifa is an African religion. And the ancestors that were enslaved that came from Africa brought their religion with them. And at each port, each dock that they went to, they brought their religion with them. That is how you have different denominations or derivatives of Ifa. And once our ancestors got here to the Americas, they hid the Orisha behind the Christian saints as well, because they were taught Christianity when they got here. They weren't practicing Christianity before this. Our indigenous were practicing Christianity. They were practicing their spiritual beliefs and religions. You understand? So I started learning all of this, seeing all of this. And that started branching me to look at, but not study other spiritual practices like Hinduism. And I went around this spiritual world and got an inside view of different things. And guess where I came right back to? The Most High God. I am not a denomination of religion. I am a child of the Most High God, the one who sent his son here to die for my sins. But what I am is well rounded in my journey. I went through all of these different phases of religion and spirituality my whole life. So for you to sit and say that I move emotionally is inaccurately speaking. Because see, you ain't been paying attention to what I've been telling you, that from the beginning, there were multiple religions in my life. From the beginning, I had an inside view to watch how different religions practiced and how they worshiped the Most High God, what their beliefs were, what their practices were. See, it's bigger than sitting up here saying that somebody is emotionally shifting around. So you don't know the difference between somebody emotionally shifting and somebody who is divinely purposed, who's somebody who is on a mission, someone who is on a journey. What part of I asked God for these things was missed? Oh, that's right. You judged before I got there. So you don't understand that when I got into that darkness, when I sat in that darkness, when I say that that darkness is all intoxicating, it very much can be, because it gives you the power as if you have divinity within you, some type of mystic magicalness within you that supersedes and overrides everything of this world. And it does to a degree only because you're dealing with spirits of darkness who were once angelic beings. So you got to understand what a demon is. Do you even understand what a demon is? Do you understand that there were two falls from heaven that happened? Two falls. And only the angels that rose up against God with Lucifer to try to overthrow heaven were the ones that were cast down here to this earth and were shackled and bound. But Satan was here to roam the face of this earth. But those who rose up with him were cast. They were down here. Where do you think they turn into demons? And those demons walk this earth, and those demons answer to Satan, and Satan will trick you into believing that you have powers over the Most High God. And these demons are on assignment over your life, because just like you got angels that are assigned to you, you better believe you got demons that are assigned to you as well, because their job is to stop you from reaching your divinity, to stop you from your purpose. But if you don't even know what demon is attacking you, how could you ever get rid of it? See, the church failed us a lot of the times because they didn't bother to teach us about who these demons are, who these spirits are. And I said it and I mean it, because people get so scared when they hear the word demon, because you don't know. You fear the unknown. You're scared to find out, because you're scared you're going to go down that road and, oh my God, I'm going to burn in hell. But how are you going to attack an enemy if you don't know the enemy? So excuse me for my spiritual boldness and asking to take a walk where most men are scared to walk down, to take a path where most people are scared to walk down. Excuse me that I was ever so bold as to ask, that I was ever so bold as to know. And by the grace of the Most High God, I wasn't taken over. By the grace of the Most High God and my praying mother, I came out of that with wisdom. I came out of that with knowledge. So before you get to judging, calling me emotional, saying I moved emotionally, hear the whole story. Talking about, is anybody listening with an open mind? Were you listening with an open mind? Do you understand where my journey has taken me? Do you understand that because I went down that path, do you understand that because I sat with these demons, because I learned these demons, because I understood how they operated, I took the time to understand how they operated? Do you not understand how those path that I took? Do you not see the protection of God all over my life? Do you not understand they could have took me out? See, y'all get it twisted because I get up here and I do this gossip shit, right? And y'all get it twisted because I get up here and I read these court docs and shit, right? But y'all really don't know who the fuck I am. Y'all really don't even understand that I have not even come into my fullness. You got people out here giving you half information because they don't wholly understand what they looking at. I know. And I ain't better than nobody else. But I have an inside understanding because I took a walk. I took a journey. See, the Bible says to study, to show yourself approved. And a lot of people, thank you for the gifts, you guys, think that that means to just study the word of God. No, you need to study. You need to have full understanding. I'm not, I wouldn't tell nobody to go down that journey. I'm not telling nobody to go down that path. You asked for that, Henny? Are you crazy? I don't know what I was at the time. As far as a mental diagnosis of things, I don't know what you would call it at that time. But at that time, I was tired of people telling me who God was. I was tired of people telling me things. I wanted to know. Do you not understand that that was, I walked away. I walked away and came back to God in 2022. And when I say walked away and came back to God, I mean I left that spiritual path and I fell on my face and I prayed to the Most High God. I prayed for forgiveness because I went down that road, because I was living that life. I prayed and I thanked God for keeping me. I thanked my mama for keeping me. Because had my mama not kept me, had God not covered me, I would have been lost in that darkness. Them girls over there playing with no foundation. And I need y'all to really hear what I'm saying. It's a lot of young people coming into this. You've got TikTok out here influencing, and they're not properly teaching. They're not properly guiding. They're not properly nothing. You got these young, there's things that they could do to get their lick back. They're not anchored in the Most High God. They have no anchoring. That demonic energy makes you power hungry, makes you lust for it, fills your ego and puffs you up because you know that you could go make sacrifice, that you can go do an exchange with an unseen, unknown force, and you can have whatever you want. And the better you treat them, the better they treat you. But it's work. You must continuously be in a state of work. And when you decide to stop, they don't. They ain't gonna cut you loose easy. You've got to pray for the youngins. Because with no anchor in the Most High God, this world is devouring them. This deeper than a circus. I don't play with that type of working. I don't play with people who do that because I've witnessed firsthand. Okay. I've witnessed people use these workings to do wicked things. I've witnessed people do working to make their lover's lover lose an innocent child. I've watched people use this working to make fatal car accidents come to pass. People lose businesses, lives that went from thriving to shambles. I've watched people do this work and those things happen because of spirits that roam. See, a lot of people sit up here and they feel like you got to believe in order for, no, you don't. These spirits are real. You ain't got to believe in the devil to know the devil is real. Amen. Amen. And if those things were not real, then we wouldn't have such things as the Illuminati using the magic as a weapon against the masses and keeping the masses ignorant to what they're. That is not to say that everyone that practices Ifa or any of these other religions are evil. But just like people can use that Bible, they can use the word and do things in the name of the word or allegedly in the name of the Most High God. And it's not of the Most High God, it's evil. There's good and bad to every religion. Unfortunately, people don't take the time to realize that. I've met some good people on my got into E5 that do not believe craft, no none of that. They don't worship no orishas. They don't give sacrifice. They don't have no deities, no idols, no nothing. As far as them being sacrificed to. There are hoodoo practitioners and there are root workers. Hoodoo practitioners believe in the Bible, they believe in God, but they also believe in justified work. Root workers work with herbs and oils, they make tinctures and salves and medicine. They heal with the herbs and are rooted in the word. What them girls are playing with ain't no word in it, ain't no God in it, ain't no light in it. And even for those who say, well, it was just a binding spell to bind him to it. Have you never heard of love spells gone wrong? Of them backfiring? You know what that is? Them spirits turning on them. Technically, I mean, you could call yourself holistic, but technically you're a root worker. You work with the roots, you heal. I make stuff or I've made stuff. I gotta, whatever. I ain't gonna say what I gotta do. I'm just gonna do what I gotta do. I take it serious and I'm not playing about that. I'm not playing about that. And all I'm gonna say is whether Carlissa is doing it too or not, whether Jaydin is doing it too or not, if they all doing it, then all they doing is having their demons fight their demons. And a lot of times these people working with the same demon, expecting that demon to turn in on itself. Carlissa, is that you? You just well, I paused the audio just now. I had muted it because I was chomping on my ice and I forgot I have on a mic. So y'all don't want to hear all of that. But I'm just saying, one thing that a lot of people don't pay attention to is in this circus, it is more than just surface stuff. It is spiritual warfare. It's spiritual warfare. Okay. And Carlissa, claims to be this woman of God. Girl, you have not been handling your matriarchal matriarchal duties. You're not being the matriarch. Matriarch prays. A matriarch covers. A matriarch discerns. A matriarch protects. I don't see no discernment. I don't see no protection. I don't see none of that. I think this dog done got himself hemmed up. He always getting himself caught up around stuff in the yard. If it mess up, it's because I'm away from the house. What are you doing? Go back around the back of the house. Go, go. Come on. Come on here. This way. Go on. Oh, that's move. Excuse you. Uh-uh. Thank you. Okay. Y'all can hear me? Um, okay. All right, there you go. If Jesus condemned these type of people, he has the last word. What you mean, Edna? The devil is real people and it's serious. Stay close to God and accept Jesus into your heart today. He loves you and he died for you and me. Period. Period. Her page is older than his career, so I think she just supports them. Curses and praise consistently in the same breath. You can see the ugliness in her spirit, and God don't like ugly. Let me say this. Carlissa has a lot of shortcomings. Carlissa is out here in a way and in a manner that just more people need to call her out on. Now I see when people start calling her out when she comes for them or she does something that they just be sitting back shaking their head at and they decide to make her a topic for the day. But when I tell you she's dropped the ball in so many ways, she gets on here and you know puffs herself up as this great mom and everything is perfect. She's just perfection. She's walking perfection. Even when she talks about going through her quote unquote trauma, her alleged trauma, and I say alleged because I don't know her. I just make clips. That's it. That's all. Well, please don't clip me up off of this live. Because this ain't nothing to be clipped up. Please don't. Um, Milo, do you mind? I know he's sitting over there like, girl, we is outside. I could scratch in this pan and get my paws clean if I want to. Um, Carlissa, she's dropped the ball in a lot of ways, but Carlissa really needs to understand that when it comes down to her position, She don't operate the way she's supposed to. And what I was saying was, in her trauma, even in her trauma, it has to be perfection. The way she handled it was perfection, and this was perfection. Everything is perfection in her life. What makes you feel what which makes me feel like, what was such the big failure in your life that everything must be perfection now when you're telling the story? When Blueface put her on blast that they were living in a shop because they were homeless, she would not accept that they were homeless. She kept trying to spin the narrative and say that they were living in a multi-million-dollar mansion. And he let be known that it wasn't her mansion, that it was the dude's mansion that she was dealing with. You come in peace, okay. Yeah, please not this one. Maybe some of the others, I don't know, but not this one. Um, that's something that shows you that there's a lot of trauma. And let me explain something to you. A lot of us carry trauma within us, and the trauma be, if you've had any type of sexual trauma, that sexual trauma sits in your womb. Do you know your children sit and incubate in your trauma while you're pregnant? Because we are one with our children while we are pregnant. And what we carry in us easily can transfer over. So women who carry trauma birth children through trauma, and those children are now birthed into trauma. And a lot of times they carry in trauma that isn't even theirs. Let that sit for a second. It would be nice to see everyone functioning together. It would be nice to see one big TV show. Could you imagine this? A TV show on a network that is following Blueface and his family and Krishan and her family, centered on and focused on them engaging in a journey of healthy co-parenting. Now that's really turning toxicity around. And the families learning how to commingle together. A journey where the baby mamas are trying to figure out how to baby mama together and coexist. We don't have nothing that shows any healing or how people can come up out of toxicity. All we get is more toxicity over more toxicity over more toxicity. That's all we get. And unfortunately, we drown in it. So much so that people don't even want to thrive on nothing positive. Here we go. The baby has to be his kid to do that. So where is it proven that it's not his kid? Don't get rid of them. Let them tell me. What proof have you seen of that? Hmm? Huh? You seen the DNA paperwork that said that? Hmm? You seen the DNA paperwork? You see what I'm saying? I'm talking about something positive, and here comes a demon with something negative. Did you? You mean the same episode where they drew her blood and swabbed his mouth for the DNA test for the paperwork that we see? Oh. For the paperwork that we see, use the line ass. Ain't no damn paperwork saying that he ain't the pappy. He ain't post no paperwork that says he's not the father. And you heard Carlissa say that paperwork came back. He's ours. You know the DNA said he's ours. Oh. wee. Child, let them stay. That's entertainment. Now you are sheer entertainment. A demon is one who bears false witness and lies. A demon is one who manipulates. A demon is one who carries bones. A demon is one who is an agent of chaos. A demon is one that will come up in a situation where we're speaking about God and good things and try to spew negativity. That's a demon, baby. So Carlista is the demon. She always interferes. Ah. Yeah, the facts were presented in that episode. They were presented in that episode. You are absolutely correct. Because in that episode, we saw that she was, in fact, pregnant when everybody was saying that she wasn't. We did, in fact, see blood go from her arm into that needle. We watched them actually swab Blueface's mouth for the DNA. You right, the facts were presented and then came the DNA testing. And there's been nothing to refute that except Blueface saying it ain't his kid. But ain't no proof that it wasn't his kid. That's a lie from the pits of hell. They said when she conceived, it wasn't Blueface's. You sound so. You will get cursed out. His family said it ain't his. So stop it. His family asked y'all to stop it, and y'all keep going. His aunt came out and said it ain't his baby. So stop. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you? I told you don't mention that man name in my life. I told you don't mention that man's name in my life. First of all, his family came out and said that it ain't his kid and to stop mentioning his name. So stop mentioning his name. He came out and said that the baby was not his. Okay. And then once people started convincing him to come out and start claiming the baby as his to cause some chaos and confusion, that's when all of a sudden the baby became his. That man came out his own mouth several times and told y'all stop going in his live telling him that that's his kid. I have all Ronnie's lives before he started coming out talking about it was his baby. Where y'all was going up in his damn live harassing that boy about baby Krishan every time he hit the live button. Y'all was in there about baby Krishan. And he was telling y'all that it wasn't his kid. That baby does not look just like him. That baby looks just like Krishan. And if you don't see no hints or remnants of Blueface in there, then you're blinded and easily manipulated. But We not mentioning that boy's name in my life. You are not the one that has to take care of that child. You are not the one that has to provide for said child. You are not the one that has to do anything when it comes to that child. I myself, personally, you have not heard me engage in saying that the baby that Nevaeh is carrying is not Blueface's. I have not said it's not his child. That has never come out of my mouth. People on the panel that come up there may say it. People in the comments may say it, but you've never heard Henny say it because there's certain things that I'm just not going to participate in. And speaking on a child and speaking on paternity matters is not one of them. I ain't gonna speak over no innocent baby. I'm not gonna speak over no innocent baby that I watched the father mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually abuse the mother while she was pregnant. I'm not going to sit up here and condone the behavior of a grown man disrespecting a child. See, y'all thrive off of that shit. Y'all see that? That's demonic fucking energy right there. Who gets off on hearing about a child every single day? Every single day, there's a new narrative spun, there's an old narrative rebirth. Every single day, somebody got something to say about this baby, his DNA, what they think his quote unquote condition is. Y'all don't know shit about baby. And it wouldn't matter if they stood there and they did a DNA testing on Maury and Maury came back and said, when it comes to the paternity of Krishan Jesus, Jonathan Jamal Porter, you are the father. Y'all would say that Maury was lying. Y'all would say that Maury was paid off to give those results. Y'all will never be satisfied to not be his. I'm over it. We move on. The baby is about to be 3 years. If they would have agreed to go to Steve Wilkos and Steve Wilkos and said, Jonathan, you are the father, y'all would say Steve Wilkos was compromised, that he was paid off. It's no satisfying people. When Blueface came out and said that the DNA test was real, that people just say that because of it was done on TV. People said that Krishan put a hit out on his life. But yet y'all turn around and said she was broke. So how could you put a DNA test out? How could you put a hit out on somebody and you broke? And guess what? Steve Wilkos and Maury Povich use the same DNA diagnostic center. Chabu. Until I see a DNA diagnostic center paperwork, until that paperwork gets produced, and talk shit about this same person only to turn around and be in her face. You want to talk about Tasiki? Let's talk about it. I don't talk about the siblings for a minute. Let's talk about all the dark energy that's going around, right? So here, boom. I never talk about I'm gonna talk about the sisters right now. You want to talk about Tasiki, the one who had molestation allegations on her before Krishan ever said anything? Her sister and her nephew was out here putting it on blast. It was already a story already out here. And then Krishan tells her story. And then all of a sudden it's a lie. And Tasiki steadily going after Krishan and saying Krishan is a liar, but she never said the nephew was. She never once said that what China said was a lie. She never once said that what China's son said was a lie. She never denied that. But you won't go after Krishan for legal actions. Why is that? Why is that? The same that came on baddies and banked her sister, the same sister that came on there with an intention that seemed like she wanted to take over because you decided to come on baddies right when Krishan was pregnant, when she wasn't able to complete baddies. You come on baddies and then you tell your sister, I know how to hit you and protect the baby. That same sister, that sister that was jumping up in her face while she was pregnant. Oh, that sister. That whose best friends was talking about they got a green light from the brother to come up in the hospital and do harm to her while her baby was healing from his surgery. You talking about that sister? I'm supposed to believe that sister? The same sister that it was all kumbaya between her and Krishan until they got on Baddies Chapter 1. You mean that sister who got on Baddies Chapter 1 and at first it was all good, just like the first time when they was on there, and then all of a sudden she want to fight her again? But I thought everything was cool and kumbaya. Oh, that sister. Or you want to talk about the sister that whichever one is paying her the most money, that's who she got that one. Or you talking about the sister that she had to call the police to go get her son from because she wasn't trying to give up her son unless she fought her. You mean that sister? He had this STD and then talk to her sister. That older sibling didn't say, and you got those same sisters that turned on her for their own. About it don't mean that I ain't keep. What was the last thing y'all heard? And see, I don't speak on family stuff because at the end of the day, the key word in all of that sentencing I did was sisters. They are sisters, they are family. They're gonna fight today and they'll make up tomorrow. And we may not like it, but that they're siblings. That's what families do. They fight and they come back together. Can y'all hear me now? Okay, y'all. What's the last thing y'all heard? What's the last thing y'all heard? And look, wasn't Christian at the table with mother break as family? That's why I stay out the family business. That's why I don't talk about the family stuff. Now, when we doing showdown and the panel is open and they want to talk about the siblings, they can talk about the siblings. I don't stop nobody from talking about what they want to talk about. It's not going to do it. Hold on one second. You ready to come inside me, go Pico? It's hot. You ready? Yeah. You ready? Come on. Okay, hold on. Let me take this off. Let me take it off. Hold on. I'm gonna open the door so you can go get you some water, okay? All right. Hey, mama, cutie pie. Hi, mama. We all heard you say at the end of the day, they're all sisters. They will make up because they're sisters. Yeah. And it's that part. And I try not to get too much into the baby daddy, baby mama drama neither because they're baby mama, baby daddy. But when you start looking at this thing, like there's more to this than just gossip and salaciousness, you know? She said we can hear you talking to the dog. Look at here. I really don't wish bad on anybody. Do people deserve their karma? Yes, they do. If you sowed it, you should reap it. Abso-freaking-lutely. If you sowed it, you should reap it. But I don't want to see nothing happen to people horrible. Like I'm not wishing death on nobody. I'm not wishing harm on anybody. But if you put out some evil towards somebody, your evil gonna come back. Y'all still there? Shut her down. She's talking too much. I'm still a little nervous about this. I'm over here on Instagram. I mean YouTube. What's wrong? What's wrong? Are you scared? Why did you look scared? He was out there laying in the grass, and when he got up and came to the door, I knew he was ready to come in. Henny, Steve Wilkos don't have shows no more. Oh, when did he go off air? Like, I think like around February, January, February. Had a show. TV shows. Oh my God, they keep saying I'm going in and out. I don't know what to do. This is why I haven't gone live on the other channel with any of the whack court docs because I can't. Can you bring this inside, please? I gotta grab this. He just missed the cold. It's too hot for him. Oh, and bring the pot top in for when we put the thing out. Can y'all hear me now? I know, and I'm sick of it. Like we're gonna have a table talk this tomorrow. I'm not trying to disturb your peace. I ain't gonna be up here long. Besides, I gotta go to the vape shop anyway. Go get me a vape. It's not Friday. It's Thursday. See, she done threw everybody off. It's clear as day now. You know why? Because I'm right here by the Wi-Fi. Yeah, but they're like, we can hear you crystal clear. In a while. In and out. Can you see the chat? Yes, I can see the chat now. We can deal with it, Henny. No worries. Wherever you are now, I can kind of hear. I love y'all too. They said so. Stay there. I'm literally sitting right by, not right by it, but I'm near. Don't walk yet. I'm trying to. You see it? The Wi-Fi. It's a new perspective he ain't never seen. The live has been very choppy on audio. Can you bring me my other vape, please? It be like that when the conversation gets spiritual. Yeah, I can see it. I'm sitting right here. But see, normally I'll be sitting on the back patio, which is not too far from it. Krishan needs to go to a bunker and just lay low from all them weirdos. Not lay low from all the weirdos. Look, I I really did something that I normally do not do, which is I talked about my walk spirit to be judged, and that's okay. But in order for you to understand a person, you got to understand their walk. You got to understand their journey into things. And while that journey is not a traditional journey that I took, this is why I look at things differently the way that I look at them because of all that I've experienced. I don't look at it as a bad thing. Sometimes some people have to experience some things so that they could come back and tell the story. And so me holding that in and not sharing it is like I felt like I was doing myself the information a disservice because people don't really know or they'll on the bed either the green one or the purple one make sure that it's lighting up. I don't know. I'm about to get off of here and take a bath. He was just laying in the grass, and I got to do his advantage down his back. It was a good conversation. I'm glad. Yes, it was a very good conversation. Thank you for sharing it with us. You're welcome. Thank you for listening and not judging. No, both of these are dead. Can you put them on a charger? I don't know where that purple one went to. I don't know. But you want to run? You gonna go with me? I'm going on a trip. The conversation. Sean needs to keep following Christ as she is. She should not let others steal her joy. The joy of the Lord is her strength. I don't think she's letting anybody steal her joy because she is on her path. She made her appearance. She stayed the night out there, and then she was right back home. She didn't stay up underneath him. She didn't continue to do another show with him. She didn't do in order for her to get to where he is now. Does that mean she had Christianity? No, it does not. And people expecting perfection out of people is pure ignorance. God does not expect to be perfect. He expects us to be as perfect as we can get, as close to perfection as we can get. But we are human, we are flawed, and we are imperfect beings. If we were capable of perfection, there would have been no need for Jesus Christ to come down and die for our sins in order for us to be able to gain salvation. We're not perfect. We're supposed to be having a human experience. We are spirit wrapped in flesh. Do y'all understand that? If we were not spirit wrapped in flesh, then we wouldn't have a spirit that would depart this earth to return to the heavenly realm or the pits of hell, wherever God says you go. And we don't spend our time experiencing life. I pray you have a blessed day, Henny. I rebuke all evil spirits in the name of Jesus, even for Jay, who seems to be drowning in the spirit of alcohol and jealousy. Amen. I will touch and agree with you at Alexandria. Amen. I agree. No one is stealing her joy. Mm-mm. She's not allowing it. If they were stealing Krishan's joy, she would be on here going back and forth arguing. And that's not what's happening. She's still not she's still not confronting them. She's not addressing them. And in all honesty, I think that we engage in it more than she does. We feed it. The internet is a cesspool of traps, and we fall for them. Well, listen, you guys, I done been on here long enough with y'all. Y'all got an Instagram live over here on YouTube. But y'all see why I'm not going live on official, because I can't have it going in and out. Maybe later this evening I can go live. Maybe I could go live from here later and do what I need to do as far as getting videos out and all of that. I don't know. But I can't sit in this one spot. But all right, you guys, I love y'all. Remember to vibe high so the bullshit don't stick. Love is always love. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Thanks for all of the gifts, everybody. Thank you for listening. Thank you for not judging. Thank you for liking the video. Thank y'all for joining in today. I'll see y'all later.